It's basically a story about using a marketing play called data journalism and some creative PR tactics to achieve world domination. And just a quick show of hands here, how many of you are familiar with the tactic of data journalism? Just like a quick show of hands. Yes, if you are. Okay, so not really familiar, which is excellent. I can assure you that within the next 5 to 7 minutes, not only you're gonna be familiar, you're gonna also go back to your company and be like, I wanna try it out with you tomorrow. It's that good. And I'm gonna start with a story, and admittedly, by now, it's an old story, but I'm gonna tell you anyway, because first off, it's a very good story, and second, it's a marketing technique that we've been repeating in the years since, even more effectively across different companies, different stages, different verticals. It works and it's beautiful. So the story began in a very cold winter in New York. I'm the head of marketing at a 10-person marketing analytics startup called Kastora, and I'm the head of marketing, but I'm also the marketing team, including content, PR, email marketing, you name it. And back then, my experience doing content and PR and B2B marketing was that I really like to read. So not a ton of experience. And I'm sitting there in our dinky office with a bunch of these dudes, and I'm thinking, okay, what do I do with this B2B marketing stuff? And I'm gonna start with the results. So it's end of November, kind of like now, it's freezing cold. I get this email from Christina, who's an executive producer at Bloomberg TV, and she's asking me, is he, and by he, she means Kastora CEO, is he available for a TV interview on Bloomberg's Bottom Line on Monday, which happens to be Cyber Monday. And you can see that this email was a response to an email I sent her. So to give you the context, Kastora marketing analytics software for e-commerce retailers. And as such, we had access to unique proprietary data about e-commerce transactions during the holiday shopping time in the US. So you can see here, we did some data analysis on the data, aggregated it, anonymized it, and I compiled a list of reporters, sent them a very simple text email saying, here's some really interesting highlights from the shopping season around mobile e-commerce, social shopping, Apple, Android. Are you interested? And she was interested. And you know, they tell you the happiest moments in your life do not happen in front of your computer. Well, I can tell you this was a damn happy moment in my life. It was pretty awesome. And Corey, the CEO, did end up being interviewed on Bloomberg on Cyber Monday. We all sat in our dinky office and we were like, yay, it's Corey. And once that happened, and it was a super successful holiday campaign, in the following months and years, we really leaned into this tactic. And the CEO of Apple, Tim Cook, mentioned some of our data insights in one of Apple's earnings calls. Like, how awesome is that? Corey appeared on multiple TV shows. Our insights were integrated into the Bloomberg Terminal, which is software used by millions of finance professionals worldwide. With $0 investment in traditional PR or PR agency, we got dozens of press publications in both retail specific publications as well as mass media publications. You can see here that Fortune magazine used our data chart in their magazine, and Business Insider quoted our numbers next to little known companies like IBM and Adobe. So hugely successful campaign, which at some point, a couple of years down the line, was generating consistently about 1/3 of Kastora's sales opportunities. So I told you, it's a good story. And to convince you that this is not like a one-time thing, I'm now going to show you a completely different example. Kiwi, Israeli digital publishing tech startup working with big digital publishers, helping them efficiently promote their content on social media platforms like Facebook. As such, they have access to really interesting proprietary data about how people engage with content on Facebook, on Instagram. Did a bunch of data analysis, thought about interesting stories to tell around the data, and pitched it and got placed multiple times in Digiday, which is like the publishing world, Wall Street Journal, essentially. And you can see here we did some data analysis around the elections and around the Super Bowl and how consumers are behaving and engaging on Facebook. Data and insights got placed. You can see here that Digiday actually used our actual data charts in their articles. So very successful. That was a couple of years ago. Then last year, Kiwi did a really interesting analysis when COVID hit, looking at how COVID is impacting prices of content promotion on Facebook, got quoted by Digiday again. So this works, completely different industry. Third example, TrueAccord, a San Francisco-based scale-up in the fintech space, digital debt collection, loan repayment, etc. When COVID hit, we did data analysis on our data on how consumers were paying back their debt, published a 10-page research report, and built a whole integrated marketing campaign around it. So social, email, content, PR, got really nice mentions in some trade publications, really nice feedback from our audience. And this is literally from last week. It's a new data journalism report from TrueAccord about buy now, pay later. It's another fintech trend. Just to show you, this keeps working. I would say it's even working now better than ever across industries, across startup stages. And so I would really urge you to take a step back and think, is this applicable for my company? Do I have access to interesting, unique data? Can I think about interesting stories that I can craft around the data analysis? Start with a small test. If it's working, then great, expand it. You can build a whole integrated marketing campaign around it. You don't need the world's greatest writers because this is based on data and insights. You don't need a huge budget because you're not paying, you're doing data analysis on your own data. So try this tomorrow and tell me how it went. I'm excited for you to try it out.